Hello and welcome to Busyman Reviews. In episodes 4 and 5 of Invincible, we learned that Robot has a secret plan, and although we don't know yet his agenda, we were presented with several clues about his motives and ultimate goal. In episode 4, we saw Robot secretly taking a blood sample from Rexplode, and in the end of the episode, we saw him kneeling in front of a disfigured person and showing him the blood sample. In episode 5, we learned that Robot was the mysterious benefactor who helped the Molar twins escape. Molar successfully clones himself to replace the previous clone that died during his escape, and gets a visit from Robot, who said to him that he needs his expertise in tissue growth and DNA replication, promising him to make it worthwhile. Another clue was towards the end of episode 5, after Monster Girl was severely injured following her encounter with Battle Beast, as we saw Robot holding her and acting very concerned while saying, "It's okay, I will fix you." From what we have seen so far, I can safely assume that Robot has feelings for Monster Girl, and that he wants to use the knowledge of the Molar twins to somehow stop Monster Girl from growing younger each time she transforms, thus saving her life, because at this rate she will revert to a baby very soon. However, when it comes to the disfigured person, things become more mysterious. It could be that he is trying to create a human body for himself, which makes sense as Robot is being constantly reminded that he is a machine, especially by Rexplode, who is shitting on him and reminding him that he cannot have relationships or any kind of feelings that humans enjoy. It could also be that Robot are somehow connected to this person, and he's trying to regenerate his body and turn him into a human, or a better superhero, since he has a blood sample from Rexplode. Or maybe there's another, more clever twist regarding the person in the tank. Guess we will have to wait for the reveal in the next few episodes. Okay, now back to Invincible, who had two important story arcs in the previous two episodes. In episode 4 of Invincible, Mark goes on a mission to secretly protect the first manned mission to Mars. Upon their arrival, the 4 astronauts went missing while Mark was distracted by his cell phone. Invincible follows the trail left behind by the astronauts and has an encounter with creatures that look like a small brain attached to 3 tentacles. After defeating them, he was escorted by Martian guards to meet the Martian Emperor, who explained that these creatures are called Sequids, and that they are a race that invade planets and destroy civilization. However, they first need to attach to a suitable host, as alone they are weak, but once attached to a host they become unified and unstoppable. However, when the Sequids crashed into Mars, they failed to fuse with the Martians thanks to their shape-shifting abilities, and so the Emperor decided to execute the astronauts as a precautionary measure. Because if the Sequids manage to find a human host, they will destroy Mars, and Earth will be next. But since Invincible is not pragmatic, he saves the astronauts anyway, and during their journey back to Earth, we see a clue that one of them was replaced, when we see him shifting the colors of the flag to match the armbands of the rest of the crew. Still, we don't know who is the imposter. Is it a Martian infiltrating Earth, or is it something else? We also see that the real astronaut was left behind on Mars and launched a devastating attack against the Martians after his fusion with Sequids. Invincible also took a rock sample from Mars and gave it as a gift to his girlfriend, Amber. We are yet to see if this plotline will be developed later on, or will it be just a cool gift. And speaking of Amber, episode 5 managed to show us the struggle of Mark Grayson to balance between his role as a superhero and his role as a boyfriend, as we see him always showing up late to his dates with Amber. And since Amber doesn't know that Mark is in fact invincible, she is considering dumping him. The other important story arc for Invincible was in episode 5 through the story of Titan, who makes a comeback in this episode, and we see him running errands for a crime boss called Machine Head. And although Titan has a hard exterior, his heart seems to be in the right place, as we saw him avoiding hurting innocent people who got caught up in his operations. After paying his debt, Machine Head tried to force Titan to continue working for him and threatens to go after his wife and daughter. And so, Titan reached out for Invincible and convinced him to help taking down Machine Head and hatched a plan to attack his office while his henchman and bodyguard Isotope, who can teleport people, was away. But Machine Head was ready for this possibility thanks to the upgrade chip that Titan sold for him, and we see him conjuring Battle Beast and his henchmen to defend him against the duo. Battle Beast, who was a guardian on another planet and became addicted to fighting and went on to visit different planets in search of worthy opponents, had no problems defeating Invincible, leaving Invincible on the brink of death. And even though the Guardians of the Globe interfered after receiving an anonymous tip, they barely managed to defeat Battle Beast's henchmen. However, Monster Girl and Black Samson almost lost their lives trying to defeat Battle Beast, who was disappointed because he couldn't find a worthy opponent. opponent and retreats from the battle. Following the apprehension of Machine Head by Cecil, we find out Titan manipulated Invincible to help him take over the crime organization, and that Isotope was his accomplice all along. Titan claimed that he did it to not only save his family, but also to help people. Cecil also used the situation to his advantage, and took a blood sample from Invincible to run tests on it, trying to figure out a way to kill Viltrumites. Which brings me to the last story arc that I want to discuss in this video, where Omni-Man is being hunted down by Damien Darkblood, who is trying to prove that he murdered the Guardians of the Globe, and we see Damien Darkblood planting the seeds of suspicion in Debbie's heart towards her husband. Omni-Man, of course, did not just stand and watch. He pays Damien Darkblood a visit and threatens him, or at least that is what he wanted Damien to believe, because in reality, he planted evidence in the form of dried blood from the Guardians to frame him for the murder. Cecil eventually confronts Damien Darkblood and says that although he believes that Omni-Man did kill the Guardians and frame Damien for it, he still needs time to figure out how to stop Omni-Man, and so he vanishes Damien Darkblood and send him again to hell as a punishment for his recklessness. Cecil is right, because you can't just call an Omni-Man and not have a plan on how to defeat him. Omni-Man also knew his wife suspects him, so he takes her for a vacation and tries to be the perfect husband. To be honest, I feel that Omni-Man truly cares for his wife and kid, and is having an inner conflict between his love and his duty as a Viltrumite. In general, episode 4 felt a bit slow. However, episode 5 made up for it and was one of the strongest episodes of this season, and I'm looking forward for the last 3 episodes of Invincible. And as always, if you enjoyed the video and want to watch further Busy Man reviews, give us a like and hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and see you soon with another video and another Busy Man review. Until next time.